Howdy y'all, this is Camille's Harem, and this is another quick video from Scott, as I've got a fun manga recommend for anyone willing to listen. We've got ourselves what feels like a classic nautical adventure, set in the sky of all places. I love stories like this. Sky ships and sky dragonfish, floating islands, and the talented daring adventurers that challenge the scary world of airborne nautical wonder. It has such a great setting to start with, and makes it even better by having some very fun characters. You have Asebi, the titular character, who is actually an android made by a futuristic mystery country that lives outside of the known world, and ended up being created to fly a lost adventurer back to his home some 5 years before our story starts. I like how we get her character now, instead of from back then, as the time that she's lived with the old adventurer and the other characters in the story has allowed her to grow out of the robotic nature she began with. On the outside, right now, she looks like any young girl, but she certainly packs a punch, can create force fields, and has taser hands. She's established first and foremost, though, as a living, breathing person, and then you find out that she's an android. Kind of how Diebuster did that with Nono. The key here is that you have the character and their emotions, their humanity, come before their wicked cool abilities. The abilities are just an idea, a concept, especially in a fantasy sci-fi story like this, while the character is what people actually tie themselves to. Our next character is Yu. He's what's known as a guard, a person that's job it is to shoot down the large dragonfish that fly around and attack ships when they're flying between the floating islands. He's straightforward, strong-willed, and for the most part, pretty easygoing. We get more of his character when he's next to Asebi, because she likes him, gets flustered around him at times, though he doesn't seem all that against it. The two work really well together though, and have, throughout the time that they've known each other, grown to trust each other completely to cover each other's backs. They're both still young and inexperienced though, and even though they want to tackle a great adventure for the two of them to answer the questions that they both have about the world around them, they have a lot to learn before they can reach that point. Yu is a new and experienced guard, and even though he's skilled, he makes mistakes. Asebi tends to overextend herself a lot and risk her secret about being an android and herself when battles tend to get pretty intense. This is all great for an adventure story like this. Think back to Avatar: The Last Airbender, how it's a story about the character's progression towards a final goal. We know what the goal is, and where it all starts is nowhere near completing that goal. The fun part is that we get to see that journey happen. Even though I've just recently found this manga, it's very high on my list of manga I wish they'd make into an anime. And this has been my manga recommend. Let me know what manga you recommend. I'd love to hear that. I'm always looking for a good read. And this has been Camille's Harem. Okini.